frustrated Captain Lindemann steps in and says, "I will not have my ship shot out from under my ass." Bismarck opens fire. Lethal one-ton shells tear toward Hood. Now, on May 24th, 1941, Hood and Bismarck open fire. Bismarck's first salvo barely misses, exploding just off Hood's starboard bow. Bismarck fires again. The German gunners zero in with deadly efficiency. Just 4 minutes into the battle, the Germans draw first blood. A shell rips through Hood's ammunition locker, exploding 4-inch anti-aircraft shells. A hurricane of shrapnel cuts down the men on the deck to bring her full broadside to bear. Bismarck fires her 8 15-inch guns. Her rangefinders locked on Hood. 1,700-pound armor-piercing shell plunges through Hood. Dead center. The armor-piercing shell penetrates deep into the bowels of the ship. The powder in a main magazine ignites. British crewmen on Prince of Wales watch in muted horror as a geyser of flames spewed from Hood's ruptured deck. Then, a huge explosion buckles the hull, twisting and shearing the mighty ship in half. Lifts vertically into the air as her midsection sinks.
She'd gone about 30 degrees, 30, 40 degrees, I suppose. We realized that she just wasn't coming back. There was no order given to abandon ship. It wasn't necessary.
Ted Briggs and the men on the compass platform struggled to escape.
The flag lieutenant was just in front of me. The squadron navigating officer, Commander Warren, stood to one side to let me go through. He just went like that. Can't forget that.
Across the water, the Germans look on at their stricken adversary.
The ship broke into pieces. We were sure an explosion of that kind must have killed everybody.
To divide its fire against multiple targets, then turn his ship's broadside, unleashing massive firepower. Battleships Rodney and King George V speed to within 12 miles of Bismarck. At 8:47 a.m., Rodney's 16-inch guns fire. Then King George V. Shells rain down around Bismarck. The British crew stuff cotton in their ears to deaden the sound. Their throats sting as they breathe in the cordite fumes after each salvo. The desperate German battleship strikes back.
Lutyens' first act was to open fire on the aged battleship Rodney. It's been suggested by some that, like Hood, he saw her as an older ship and thought, perhaps weaker, he could take her out and lessen the odds against him.
Both sides miss their targets. With each salvo, the gunners adjust their rangefinders. With her rudders jammed, Bismarck can't maneuver. She's an easy target. Rodney scores the first hit on Bismarck at 9:02 a.m. The British have the range and let loose with everything they have.
We were firing broadside. We were firing 10 shells at a time. 10, 14-inch shells were going all over. And that's a hell of a lot of shells for one ship to take.
Two British cruisers, Norfolk and Dorsetshire, join the fight. Bismarck is being pummeled from all sides.
Ich kann nur von dem Endkampf erzählen, dass wir nur ab und zu
Shell splinters rained through the air ducts that supplied our fresh air. The shells were hitting us fast, violently.
King George V's 14-inch guns make a critical hit.
in dem Moment ging eine Granate.
A shell hit the gunnery control and also the main battery. The men screamed because of all the sulfur steam. It scalded them terribly.
Bismarck is now a slaughterhouse. The huge dreadnought fires a final salvo. But at 9:31 a.m., her mighty guns fall silent.
Wurde dann von der Schiffsführung durchgegeben.
As Bismarck's guns stopped, shells were hitting everywhere. Pieces of the ship were blasted away.
Sprengen sollten und dann das Schiff verlassen sollte. Das Schiff wird versenkt.
In the end, it was pitiful to see, really, because we knew she wasn't firing anymore.
Tuppy's warships fire over 2,800 shells. 400 hits reduce Bismarck to a ravaged steel inferno. But the great battleship, her flag still flying, remains afloat. At 10:21, Tubby ceases fire. The cruiser Dorsetshire moves in to sink Bismarck with torpedoes. But the commanding officers left on Bismarck have other plans.
Turbinenräume und die mussten
They announced over the PA that we should set scuttling charges and open the sea valves. We were going to sink her ourselves and abandon ship.
die ungefähr 1 Meter Durchmesser hatten, angebracht werden.
Before the scuttling charges take effect, the Dorsetshire fires 3 21-inch torpedoes into Bismarck. At 10:39 a.m., Bismarck sinks by the stern into a watery grave.